and I give the floor to the representative of the Syrian Arab Republic.
شكرا سيدة.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates of the Syrian Arab Republic, in his address before the General Assembly yesterday, stressed that the Syrian government has always been open to any genuine and neutral political efforts or initiatives to assist the government to end this crisis that targeted the state and people of Syria, despite obstacles placed by countries that have no interest in these continued efforts to achieve stability in Syria while maintaining our national pillars. The Syrian government has facilitated the launch of the work of the Constitutional Committee by contributing to reaching an agreement on the formation and rules of procedures of the committee. The Syrian government also stressed that this process must be Syrian-led and Syrian-owned, without any foreign intervention or any attempt to impose artificial deadlines or advance conclusions to the work of this committee. For the Constitution, and anything related to the Constitution, is a Syrian matter to be determined by the Syrians themselves, pursuant to the principle of the sovereignty, independence, unity, and territorial integrity of the Syrian Arab Republic, as reaffirmed by all relevant Security Council resolutions on the situation in my country. The Syrian government continues to cooperate with the Special Envoy, Mr. Peterson, and we welcomed his visit to Damascus on 11th and 12th of September, where he conducted constructive discussions. We also welcome the briefing of Mr. Peterson, where he discussed his intention to issue invitations for a sixth session of the Constitutional Committee in October. We reaffirm the need for the Special Envoy to maintain his role as a facilitator and to convey what he sees in an impartial, neutral, and objective manner. Madam President, the settlements and reconciliations in the governorate of Daraa recently prove once again that the Syrian government is keen to restore security and stability in all areas in Syria while guaranteeing the safety of its citizens and stopping the bloodshed of innocents. The patience and wisdom of the Syrian leadership, along with the efforts of our Russian friends, helped reach an agreement to restore stability in the areas that witnessed tensions recently in Daraa and its rural area in southwest Syria. This also allowed residents to return home safely and peacefully. Madam President, the role of the Security Council in maintaining international peace and security was used by some to interfere in the affairs of my country and disrupt security and stability in Syria over the past 10 years. Therefore, we must raise our voices high to expose these practices and to call on these countries to end this disruptive behavior and to learn from the lessons of their failed and senseless wars over the past years. The war imposed on us by governments known to all through varied and diverse means has claimed the lives of many. This war has damaged the achievements of an ancient civilization. It has led to the loss of significant development gains made by the Syrian people over the past decades. It is high time to put an end to this war, to end the foreign military presence that is illegitimate and that is present on Syrian territories, including the U.S. military forces in the northeast and the Turkish military forces in the northwest, they must withdraw fully, and we call on an immediate lifting without any preconditions of the unilateral coercive measures imposed by the United States and the European Union, and we call on supporting the efforts of the Syrian state and its allies to combating terrorism, restoring security and stability, and rebuilding and rehabilitating the damaged infrastructure. We must also begin early recovery projects and support and strengthen all sectors, particularly water, energy, education, and healthcare, to provide basic services to the Syrian people and advance their livelihood and their humanitarian situation, in addition to guaranteeing a dignified and safe return for refugees and IDPs to their homes. To achieve this objective, all relevant Syrian parties are intensifying their efforts to facilitate this voluntary return and guarantee the basic needs of returnees. For this purpose, we have adopted a number of measures and issued a number of decrees. Ladies and gentlemen, it is unfortunate that the efforts of the Syrian state and friendly countries are accompanied by the attempts of some to exploit the suffering of the Syrian people and invest this suffering to achieve aims that are far from being humanitarian objectives and do not serve the interest of the Syrian people, including by investing the reports of committees that have proven time and again that they are a politicized mechanism, that are not professional, neutral, or credible in their work. Their main objective is to issue reports that will allow some countries to defame the image of Syria. Madam President, allow me to also refer to the aggressive and disruptive practices carried out by the Turkish regime on the Syrian territory through their support to terrorism by killing, destroying, their Turkification policy by plundering wealth. They're even using water as a tool to serve their political games and as a weapon against millions of Syrian citizens to achieve political and regional gains, in a blatant violation of the principles of international law, international humanitarian law, and international and bilateral instruments and agreements, as well as the principle of good neighborliness. My country calls on the Security Council and the Secretariat of the United Nations to shoulder their responsibility to put an end to the crimes of the Turkish occupation and to end their military presence on the territory of the Syrian Arab Republic. I thank you.
I thank the representative of the Syrian Arab Republic.